What should you be doing right now? The systems are falling. They truly believe women are less. They truly believe LGBTQ plus community members are not worthy. I'm literally giving it away in my master classes. I show you how to do it. And I got my ring back. 20 years later, where are you at? What should you be doing right now looking at images of 6-year-old little girls with zip ties after their mother has been arrested, teenagers being brought in court and being asked if they understand the proceedings, which of course they cannot, and the fear and the discouragement that we see, the economic uncertainty, and the clear divisiveness. I am not going to be political, but what I will say is that the systems as they've been, and this has been my core message for the last couple of months, the way the systems spin does not work. It's never worked for women. It's never worked for minorities. It never worked for anybody who was a little bit more colorful or different or had a different opinion about something. The systems were always designed for mediocrity, for the middle of the road, for the safe space, for the people that believe security and certainty comes in a system that provides for them. These systems only provided for a small fraction for people that fit into that system, but never for anybody else. The systems are falling. So you have a choice now. You can go and be very upset about that. And we need to be upset about what it does to the people in the wake. Maybe it was necessary to see what this actually looks like in full fruition, because many of you just didn't believe that it was anything but a joke, or that certain people didn't mean it when they said it. They mean it all right. And it's not a joke. This is what they truly believe in. They truly believe women are less. They truly believe women should not have a right over their own bodies, a right to vote. They truly believe that transgender, LGBTQ plus community members are not worthy of receiving any kind of help because somehow in their minds that people have done something wrong. That's their opinion, and they can stand for whatever they want. I don't. I never have, and I will never do anything that will jeopardize my friends, my colorful characters, my long career in the creative arts and the amazing people that we brought together. So where does this leave you at? It leaves you at an intersection of a belief system that you're being called to examine. Are you now being part of a resistance? And what does this resistance stand for? Or are you feeling empowered because you finally get to speak all these things that you've always thought secretly, and now that it's out in the open, you are okay with 6-year-olds and zip ties? The morality of this, frankly, between you and me and anybody who wants to listen or not, anybody who puts a zip tie on a 6-year-old girl with a little bow in her head in her Sunday dress as she's walking with her mother to her legally appointed court appointment for her immigration proceedings, there is no hell for you that will be hot enough, brutal enough for you to justify this behavior. But that is on this person. But I think about this from the perspective as a growth architect. Now, having lost everything in my own fire, I look at this from the perspective of what can we do? What can you do? What is it for us to do? And it really is to find the opposite. The law of polarity, which I quote a lot lately, says very simply, if it exists on one side, it must exist on the other side. When you go do your profit and loss, if it's on one side, it must be on the other. If you do accounting, if the money comes in on one side, it must go out on the other. So there always has to be another partner, a pair to it. Like there's day, there's night, there's heat, there's cold. We only recognize things because of the opposite of its existence. So if it is that bad, and it is that brutal, and that incomprehensible, and that inhumane, and that outrageous, what is the opposite of that? Now, in that opposite of that, what is your part? I tell you what my part is. And that message has come through loud and clear over and over and over again. That message is, I am here to take everything that I know, all these decades of business building and designing shortcuts, engineering these blueprints, is all yours now. I'm literally giving it away in my master classes. I show you how to do it. I have done wayside with my persuasion models. I firmly believe now in a resonant model. If you want something different than what you're seeing and what you've had and what you've invested in thus far, then you are probably at the right place. My goal is to give you what I know so you can do what I do. And more of you can do more because we now need to create this counterforce. People who break shit don't build shit. Creators build. People that I work with, colorful, non-conforming, interesting, straight, whatever you might be, I truthfully don't care. I see you, always have. And I see the beauty in your vision. I see the beauty in your mission. And my goal is to help you to clarify that so you can put it out in the world, so you can help these people that are running around so confused that some of them put zip ties on 6-year-olds. You have to make a decision right now where you are at this point in history. There's no question in my mind. And if you are a creator and the resistance is in full force, I see it everywhere. I see it when I go on these investment platforms. Ron Perlman, an actor, just launched something called Waterfall, where there is now going to be different ways of producing movies with crowd engagement. We've seen money being raised, crowdsourcing. We see all kinds of different things that getting away from the existing systems. On my podcast, I have Freedom Chat, a fully encrypted chat. Freedom Chat might be an unfortunate term right now given the controversy, but the message of the Freedom Chat is it is about freedom in your chatting. So he'll just have to overcome that. But the message is clear. Nobody has a right to interfere with what you think or how you want to show up in the world. That is your right. That is your right as a person. That's your right under God. That's your right from the Bible to anything you believe in. We have a right. We're here for fully expressing ourselves. We don't need anybody to tell us what to do. In my world of complete loss and destruction, I have found something that was very strangely, feels like a flow state, right? So flow state is when intuition, strategy, like all these things kind of come together. So after my spiritual journeys, after the loss of the house, I'm angry. I'm very angry. This is what my 9th disaster was. September 11th, not enough. Was my lawsuit not enough? Was not losing Fernando Bengochea in that tsunami, was that not enough? Was the earthquake not enough? Was an ugly divorce not enough? Was not being a single mom, was that not enough? And just in the moment where I think it's finally coming all together and I'm getting married, boom, I get hit over the head with the biggest frying pan ever. Lose everything, all at once. All of it. Your identity, the way you feel, what you want, how you are, is all gone, all at once. But is it? Or is it the version 3.0? Was it the precursor to what we're seeing in the external world? My own invitation to create something, my version of how I now really need to show up in the world without the distraction. Maybe that's what this is all about. And that's what I really want to have you think about today. Where are you at? You need to make personal decisions. I don't care if you speak up loudly or not. I don't care if you demonstrate or not, or if you quietly go and you create in your studio, in your back room, on your computer. And I'm going to give you one example for a flow state. And it's so interesting because I had brunch on Friday at a friend, Matt Gala, who is a phenomenal coach who helps people that have lost themselves and really need to find joy in their lives again, to figure out how to get out of the career, and then get back to having actually a life. And when we were talking afterward, he said to me, what I want to hear from you is your personal stories of what's happening right now. And I'm going like, well, like, what do you mean? And then I told him a story, which I'm going to tell you now, so you know exactly what flow state is. When I sold my business in 2006, and the business that I sold was a technology business before technology businesses were even a thing. And this sale, when they came through, I sold the business to Bill Gates, was incomprehensible for me that I could even accomplish something like that I would, after all of this, have an exit. And somehow it all made sense that I would go through all of these things and end up with something so extraordinary. Were the 10 years of hardship worth waiting for that cruise ship to come in? And it wasn't even a cruise ship. It was really a private yacht, if you really want to know. And so it was. So I went to Bloomingdale's and I wanted to buy myself something that I call a milestone piece. Milestone pieces I've done with my daughter ever since she's born. And a milestone piece is that instead of money or instead of a party, there is a piece of jewelry that my daughter got for every milestone, being 16. When she was 16, I gave her my wedding band and the wedding ring. I had a beautiful 3-piece thing because at 16, I felt she was old enough to have that. I wasn't going to wear it again anyway. So I'm buying myself my own milestone piece because I have money in the bank and I wanted to buy myself a beautiful piece of jewelry. So I walk into Bloomingdale's and I find this gorgeous ring. And I've worn this ring for the last 20 years consistently. And I love this ring. It's my favorite ring. Well, when I was in Costa Rica on my spiritual journey, we got married. 3 days later, I lose everything in the fire. The ring burned. Every piece of jewelry I have burned. I mean, literally every single piece of jewelry burned. And my mother had just given me her entire jewelry pieces my dad bought in Morocco, in Saudi Arabia, in Greece. Anywhere in the world my father would go, he'd pick up a piece of jewelry. All of these pieces have gone, as have my father's things, letters, Mother's Day cards. Literally, I had nothing other than what I had in my suitcase. We couldn't save anything. We went here. So this ring is really meaningful to me. So I waited until my daughter was here with my granddaughter and we walked into Bloomingdale's. And I said to the woman, do you have any records? I know it's a long time ago. It's 20 years ago. And she says, no, sorry, we don't have that record anymore. And then she said to me, can you describe the ring? And I said, yeah, I can. It was a beautiful 14-karat gold ring, and it had these circles on it, and 2 of the circles were diamonds. And she looked at me. Her eyes went humongous, and she says to me, I know this ring. What are the chances? 20 years later, completely different salesperson, and she knows this ring. She goes to her computer. She types into it. She flips the computer screen around. There's my ring. What? She says, I have one left. It's a size 7, and I bet that's your size. Not just that, but it happened to be 50% off that day, too. So I paid for it the exact amount that I paid 20 years ago, and I got my ring back. That's what's called a flow state. That's when things that are really meaningful, that are aligned with who you are kind of coming back to you. And when I tell the story of how easy that was and how surprising, I think about this all the time. It's like, how do you get into a flow state? How can you be in the state where these things come to you? You got to stop fighting. You want to visualize, like a radio tower, the message that you want to send out and what you want to come to you and how you see yourself, your impact in the world. And then you need to let go of what you thought the path there is and lean into the yes. And the yes is how opportunities are coming to you. When my friend Isaac said to me, do you want to go to human tech? in San Francisco, I said yes. And I went there and I met amazing people, some of which I was so compelled that I said, I would love to connect with you and see if I can help you build this business, because some of these things are really absolutely extraordinary. Human tech, can you imagine? The idea that technology is not the God, but the human is the God, is the main thing. And then the technology supports the human. The creation of where we are right now. So there's been a mass activation, and this mass activation has been going on for a couple of years. A mass activation is a call. A call is anybody who says, I cannot do this anymore. I don't want to do this anymore. I feel that I need to be doing something different. I feel called to something else, and then they get afraid. That's when people come to me, is when they have an idea and they need a business model. You have to have an idea. I can't help you with the idea. You have to have the idea, but I can help you build the business model with the idea. That's what my program, Turn Your Talent into Business, is for. This program's had over 25,000, 30,000 people that have taken this since its first creation, and it's only gotten better and better and better because I believe in shortcuts and making it as simple as possible. My whole system that I've created, I've condensed it in such a simplistic version. My whole system has 5 words. That's it. 5 words. And it works. So this is what I do. This is what I help people with, is to take these ideas and build business models around it. If you get distracted with all this internet marketing stuff, you're just trying to figure out like one piece of it. Yes, speaking could be a part of your system, and podcasting could be a part of your system, and funnels could be a part of your system. Product launches could be a part of your system. But none of this is a business model. They're all tactics that will help you to amplify the actual business model, the message of the business that has to come first. It's just not sexy. Many people don't want to talk about it because it is, when was the last time you Googled how to build a business model? You don't. You go how to grow a business, and then boom, you're in the SEO algorithm with all the people that pay for ads and that have thousands of messages that are geared toward that. That is, that's a trap. That's why a lot of the stuff just doesn't work anymore. But this is also shifting. And I've been fighting it for years and years and years. I just can't even fight this anymore. I had to literally sit down after this and said, I don't have any fight in me because I'm fighting for my own life right now. I'm fighting for keeping my relationship on track with this absolute tragedy. I'm fighting for my own health and my PTSD from the fire, and trying to figure out how I'm going to get this out of my system, my nightmares that I've been having, just dealing with all of this. This has not been an easy path, and I know that for most of you, this has not been an easy path too, because it's not meant to be right now, because we had a pivotal moment in history, not history in, Republicans versus Democrats, political parties, but a pivotal moment in history where we are seeing emerging a completely different type of desire. People want to have a life. They don't want to wait until they're 60. They don't want to wait until they may or may not get Social Security, until the government may or may not take care of them. They want to live now. Good for you. We fucked up in a big way because we didn't know. We were raised by World War II parents. Work, 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 work. Make something out of yourself. Building, 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 building. Never mind relationships. Never mind love. Never mind connection. And if you blow up your relationship with your kids and your family and brothers and sisters don't speak, it doesn't matter. As long as you have money in the bank, you're good. And if you have money, how many times have you said, well, they shouldn't have any problems. They have money. Money is just money. Money is not a life. So that's why I'm so adamant about my work as the growth architect, about combining spirituality with strategy and helping founders of the future, because it is on. The game is on, and it is on for you. If you are here and you're listening to this, tag, you are it. What are you going to do? And this whole podcast wasn't even planned, because I literally was just on a planned podcast with Maria. And then we had some technical difficulties and all kinds of buzzing. And then we were sharing some things, and I could tell she was very upset that the tech didn't work. But I'm calm. Stuff like this happens. I'm here to help, not to hurt anybody. And then she says, well, where do I find out about your teachings? I'm going like, well, maybe you should just take the opportunity and run this podcast and tell you guys what's on my mind right now. Because I cannot fight right now. I just can't. I want to meditate. I want to sit and tap into the source. I want to figure out what the heck is coming next and what my part in this is. But I'm in flow, as I said. I find a ring that's meaningful to me. I got a grant from the LA Fire Relief Fund. I had all the right insurance. At least the cash flow was there for the time being so that, I could figure this part out and whatever comes after that. And every time I sink into this, the message is the same. You're almost there. You're almost there. Just patience, patience. Everybody you need is already here. And then I had Vince on my podcast with the Impact Accelerator Summit. And next thing I find out that there's a whole new level of investors, venture capital investors, that want to invest in founders of the future that are conscious. And then I listened to one of the calls and I was invited to be a facilitator and mentor, and I'm going to be speaking at the event. And I'm thinking to myself, pinch me. I can't believe I'm in this room. And when we're on this call and I listen to this conscious investor and he says he's looking for character. He's looking for somebody completely aligned and in resonance. And he has a 40-year-long meditation practice. This is what's happening. It's happening out there. You just can't see it yet because we are not a critical mass yet. But we will be with you. And then on the other side, we have founders of the future and this amazing woman who has figured out on how to replicate heart cells. And in her work that she's done over 13 years, she was able to create heart cells that have a heartbeat. Can you even imagine the magnitude of these inventions that then the creativity we are seeing if you take your eye off the people that are destroying the current systems and look forward into what is possible? That's the question. What is possible for you today? What are you afraid of? Or should I say, what are you so afraid of? What are you so afraid of? What are you so afraid of? It is the not knowing. Because there's uncertainty outside, there's uncertainty in yourself, and there is all this external stuff and the noise and the anger seeing 6-year-old girls in zip ties. You gotta shrug it off. You gotta go back to what you came here to do. If you're listening to this, you came here to do something. It's your time now. This is as good as any. If not now, then when? And if not you, who will? That's what's called. And because it is so extraordinarily challenging, and it is challenging because this spiritual force is pushing you out of your comfort zone at a level that you've never seen before, not in this lifetime. The last time I've experienced a similar type of thing was during Ronald Reagan, when a lot of this stuff happened, and then Rodney King happened, and from there on we saw a whole other thing. But the pendulum certainly has swung back that way, but much further out. Your job is only one job right now. Take care of yourself. Take care of your families. Give yourself the grace to not know. Give yourself the grace to lean into what's coming. Give yourself the grace to explore, to maybe make a couple mistakes and lean into the yes, because what's yours is already here. The law of polarity says it must already be here. You need to just find it. And that's what I'm doing. Honestly, that's all I focus on. That's what people ask me all the time. It's like, Beate, how do you survive in all of this? How did you get through all of this? How do you not freak out? Why are you in even a good mindset? I'm like, the only reason it is because I truly believe in the law of polarity. It must already exist, and I am determined to find it. And as you've seen, if you followed me, my message has significantly changed. Maybe it hasn't changed. Maybe it's just gotten deeper or clearer about what I feel my part is. And everything else will emerge out of that. And so I thank you for being along for the ride as I figure this out. You'll be the first one. You'll be the first one to know. But I do encourage you check out the many, many things that we have for you. Go to the website at GrowthArchitect.biz. Take the quiz. Find out what your talent is worth in this time. We have another quiz called the Business Growth Blocker. Businesses don't grow for 1 out of 3 reasons. You take advantage of these. We have a revenue barrier roadmap that will show you exactly if you're not making any money, what these revenue barriers might be. Listen to the podcast. We have masterclasses. My masterclass right now is around a business reset on how to turn this into something. Just get on the list and be informed. If it's in resonance with you, participate. See if there's something in there that will help you to resolve or solve what you need to be solving right now. And that's the message for today. And what do you know? I wanted this to be like a 3-minute video, and it turned out into a whole podcast. I guess I had a lot more to say than what I thought I would. But I'm grateful for you. It needs someone like you to do the work that needs to be done right now. I truly, truly, truly believe that. And I can't tell you on how grateful I am. Share this podcast. Tell more people. Take these teachings. Subtract what's not yours. Add what's yours. Make it yours. The message is yours to take, and spread it however you want to. I'm here to help in any way I can. And with that, I say goodbye. Until next time. That's it for this episode of the Business Growth Architect Show, Founders of the Future. If you're done playing small and ready to build the future on your terms, subscribe, share, and help us reach more trailblazers like you. And if you're serious about creating, growing, and scaling a business that's aligned with who you are, schedule your Uncovery session at uncoverysession.com. Lead with vision. Move with purpose. Create your future.